because whatever decision you make, somebody is going to be upset. Somebody is going to think that that wasn't a great decision. And so you have to be introspective enough to know who you are before you step into leadership, because if you don't, then people will dictate and determine it for you. What's going on, aspiring school leader? I am Dr. Donovan Smalls II, and welcome to Beyond the Classroom. I help aspiring school leaders navigate interpersonal and organizational complexities for greater instructional impact. And I believe that you can't get instructional leadership right if you don't lead people and the organization well. I know you're enjoying this episode, but I wanted to let you know about my latest book, Beyond the Classroom, helping aspiring school leaders navigate interpersonal and organizational complexities for greater instructional impact. Now, this book is going to help you navigate the learning curve as you transition from being a classroom teacher to a school leader, manage your busy schedule and reclaim your time to effectively be an instructional leader, take a holistic approach towards school leadership, and increase your instructional impact by fostering a school culture of feedback and coaching. So if you are an aspiring school leader looking to be an effective practitioner, head over to my website and grab your copy today. So today we're going to talk about navigating the learning curve as it relates to being an aspiring school leader, making that transition from being a classroom teacher to a school leader, right? And I'm a firm believer in the fact that whenever you are promoted to the next level in your career, you will always begin as a novice. So what does that mean? That means that regardless of how great of a classroom teacher that you are, regardless of the results that you're actually getting in your classroom, that in and of itself does not necessarily mean that you are going to be an effective school leader. Yes, there are some transferable skills that you'll be able to tap into and that you'll be able to carry with you when you become a school leader. However, when you become a school leader, you're not just focused or concerned with your particular classroom and getting results with your specific students, right? Now you have to widen your leadership lens. You have to make sure that your focus as it relates to being an instructional leader is school-wide and not just with your specific classroom, right? Because when you're a classroom teacher, that's your primary focus. Your primary focus is you getting results for the students that are in your care, in your particular classroom, during your however many periods you have as a teacher. Now, as a school leader, though, now you must be able to coach and develop teachers, coach and develop staff that are ultimately going to be responsible for making the instructional impact to raise and increase student achievement. That's a different skill set, right? The results that you got in your classroom, yes, they're going to come in handy as it relates to coaching and developing other people. But when I'm talking about like increasing your leadership lens, that means your purview is now going to be different. It's going to be wider. You have more responsibilities, right? It kind of reminds me of when I was playing college basketball. As a point guard, I do have a certain leadership lens on the court, right? I had the ability to be able to see things. I had the responsibility, rather, to be able to see things in my purview, right? But when I started coaching, I'm not just seeing what's happening on the basketball court. I'm also looking at the defense. I'm also looking at multiple things at different times that was ultimately going to have an impact on us being able to win or lose. And it's the same thing as a classroom teacher, making that transition to being a school leader. Yes, you are responsible for what's happening in your classroom as a teacher, but now it's time to widen your leadership lens and see things that may go unsaid, right? See things that most people are not necessarily looking at, but has a profound impact on student achievement. And so when we look at navigating the learning curve, I'm thinking about some potential challenges that come with making that transition, right? And oftentimes our education administration programs or whatever it is that we're being taught has a lot of theory as it relates to what we should be doing as leaders. However, when you get into your first role as a school leader, you might notice that a lot of theory might not necessarily be beneficial for you in your particular context, right? And so as it relates to navigating the learning curve and some potential challenges that you might experience, one could be managing your responsibilities. I think of, being a classroom teacher, my schedule was set. And now being a school leader, yes, I should be planning for the day, right? Which I do. However, that plan could become obsolete as soon as I step into the building because of the things that come up on a daily basis. And so you have to be somebody that's going to be able to manage all of the responsibilities, getting your teacher evaluations done, getting into classrooms, going to lunch duty, going to bus duty, all of the other responsibilities that you are responsible for. You have to be able to manage that and deal with the fires, right? The proverbial fires that you're going to have to put out, right? So managing your responsibilities is going to be key, which is going to take a level of emotional intelligence, the ability to manage your time and to manage all the different things on your plate, right? It does play a critical role in your effectiveness as a school leader. Number two, upholding the expectations of your role. So we kind of talked about that, but again, you are going to be expected to do so much as a school leader, regardless of what's going on in the building, right? We're not making excuses for the type of load that we have to carry as leaders. We need to be able to figure out a solution. So if that means, letting your colleagues know this is the times that I'm doing an evaluation today, please hold me accountable to that so I'm actually in the classrooms and not just dealing with the day-to-day responsibilities of being a school leader, right? Number three, navigating the dynamics of professional relationships. So here's one of the things I think is extremely important too, right? Everyone has a different personality. Everyone has different needs. Everyone has different requests, right? And so as a school leader, you have to be able to manage your responsibilities and the expectations of other people and the dynamics of professional relationships to the degree where you are helping to meet the needs of other people, but maybe not necessarily their preferences. As a leader, you have to be able to make a stand for certain things, regardless of how people are going to feel, because whatever decision you make, somebody is going to be upset. Somebody is going to think that wasn't a great decision. And so you have to be introspective enough to know who you are before you step into leadership, because if you don't, then people will dictate and determine it for you. You have to know who you are, because professional relationships is an extremely complex dynamic, because everybody is not the same. Everybody doesn't need the same attention, right? Yes, everybody needs coaching and feedback, but not to the same degree. And so it is your responsibility as a leader to effectively navigate and manage those professional relationships. Time management. We talked about that previously as well, right? Time management is one of those things that if you don't manage your time is going to manage you. It's one of those things that the day will escape you and you will not get the things done that you plan to get done if you're not able to manage your time. That goes back to managing professional relationships as well, because everyone is going to have a request. Everyone is going to want your assistance with certain things. And yes, that is all your responsibility. But you have to figure out times in your day that you're going to handle discipline. Times in your day, right? Especially if it's not urgent. You have to figure out times in your day when you're going to visit those classrooms who may need a little bit more of support, right? Your check-ins with teachers, your check-ins with students, your check-ins with your leadership team. You have to be able to manage your time so that your time does not manage you. And then lastly, right? Lastly is politics. So when it comes to politics and education, I will say this. Politics in education exists, and we do know that. However, when you step into the leadership role, you might see politics existing in a more prominent way. And you have to be able to navigate those politics with tact and with certain levels of awareness that helps you understand those dynamics, right? Those political dynamics that affect teaching and learning, and fight for the right cause. I'm not telling you what the right cause is. It depends on your context. It depends on who you are. But you have to be able to navigate the politics of education in a way that is going to advocate for kids. That is your primary responsibility as a school leader, to advocate for what's best for kids, right? So regardless of what the political landscape is that you're walking into, if you keep kids at the center of what you do, you'll be able to navigate those politics in a way that won't stress you out, right? That won't zap your energy. And so I want you to constantly think about that and keep that in the forefront of your mind. Regardless of the challenges that you face, keep kids at the center of what you do. I know you're enjoying this episode, but I wanted to let you know about my latest book, Beyond the Classroom, helping aspiring school leaders navigate interpersonal and organizational complexities for greater instructional impact. Now, this book is going to help you navigate the learning curve as you transition from being a classroom teacher to a school leader, manage your busy schedule and reclaim your time to effectively be an instructional leader, take a holistic approach towards school leadership, and increase your instructional impact by fostering a school culture of feedback and coaching. So if you are an aspiring school leader looking to be an effective practitioner, head over to my website and grab your copy today. Regardless of the responsibilities, regardless of the expectations that people have of you, regardless of you navigating the dynamics of professional relationships, right? Managing your time, the politics in education. If you make your primary responsibility doing what's best for kids, you're ultimately going to have the greatest impact in being the greatest school leader that you can possibly be. So again, navigating the learning curve when it comes to transitioning from being a classroom teacher to a school leader is complex. There are many different things and responsibilities that you are going to have to manage. However, if you keep the primary thing, the main thing, then you'll have a better transition, a more effective transition, and an opportunity to increase student achievement and develop and support teachers in ways that you ultimately wanted to when you got into education, right? That's why you are wanting and striving to become a school leader. It's to make a greater impact on teaching and learning, and you will be able to do that if that is your primary focus. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure to share it with somebody else so that we can continue to impact as many people as possible and increase student achievement. As always, I hope you have a great week of teaching, leading, and learning. Take care.